My name is Krista Houghton, also known as Calamity Jane with a K, KJ. I'm 38 years old. I'll be 39 June 6, 2011. We're one nation under God. Well, who's God? You know, who's God? And America, bring me your tired and your weary and I will, give you rest, kind of like what the Bible says. Bring me you're hungry, you're poor. And okay, well, we've been doing that. And these people are coming from different parts of the world, different parts of the country with different ideas of the way things are supposed to be. So this one nation under God, you got to be a little lenient and be like, yeah, there are different gods for different people.
Every little kid is taught that they shouldn't talk to strangers. I mean, do you talk to strangers? How do you know if a stranger is worth speaking to? Hey, kid, don't talk to strangers. Where's my daughter at? I'm gonna go get my daughter in here in a minute and tell her she's 3 weeks old, but she needs to know this.
Tell me something you pretend to understand but secretly don't.
Religion.
Why that?
Because there's so many different religions. And nobody ever really can agree on the basis of all religions, which is just do unto others, Just be nice. Just be nice.
Why do you think we're skeptical of kindness?
Because so many have been burned and hurt.
Have you been burned?
Yes. Yes.
What's the one that's taught you the most?
Gosh. Loss of self-respect. Yeah. Loss of self-respect. Is very hard to get it back. It's coming. It's here, but it's not solid yet. But that was the big one.
How did you lose it?
Drug addiction and bad choices because of drug addiction.
What was your drug of choice?
Alcohol to start.
That was the first one? Well, yeah, what was your gateway?
That was alcohol, cigarettes, as a kid, and then the alcohol led to like pot smoking and then LSD and then cocaine and ecstasy and pill popping. Well, the pill popping was always there. Addiction runs in the family,
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it just rolled into bigger, harder drugs, crystal meth, and then a very intense drug addiction to pharmaceuticals that turned me into a junkie for 4 years.
I used to call myself an addict because, well, I went to the doctor and I got my pills. So I can't be a junkie. Junkies are people who do this and are on the street and this. So it was very easy for me to feel, because it was pharmaceutical, that somehow I was better.
Right.
And cut to me snorting coke off the floor, inhaling kitty litter. And so the story ends. Okay. So I was a junkie.
It's a way of them saying, well, it's okay. A doctor's prescribing this. We can control this. And then if they become addicted or start snorting it, or crushing the pills and snorting it, or crushing the pills and shooting them up, then it's like, oh, well, they've got a problem. Really, Doc, when you're prescribing 240 pills for a month's supply when 90 would be more than enough?
What do you feel addiction robbed you of the most?
The love for myself, I mean, that's always been a hard one my whole life. It's, but it just seemed like as you said, well, the doctor's prescribing it. I'm just an addict. I just take a little more. And then it got to a point where it was like, I had to face reality and say, I'm not an addict, I'm a junkie. And then when that happened, it was like, where's my love for me? Or do I love myself? Or do I know myself? And how will I ever be able to love or know anybody else? So,
what was the bottom for you? They call it that. We don't have to call it that.
My mom's death. My mother's death, May 31st of 2009. It was a week before my 37th birthday. And we knew something was wrong with her, but we didn't expect her to be taken so quickly. And her death allowed my rebirth into becoming a person that I had always aspired to be, but I never thought I would achieve it. And in the last almost 2 years since her death, I have laughed more and smiled more and enjoyed people, myself, and life more than I ever have at any other point in my life. And I've had some very high points, but my mom's death, I guess you could say, was a very high point for me. I still feel like I was a burden to my mother my whole life, you know? She always kind of, I mean, she loved me and did the best she could for me, but it was always like a kind of an attitude, like, okay, you know, like, and so I was like, oh, okay. So I just learned to get through life, like trying to do whatever it is to make someone happy. I think it's this primal desire for companionship, you know, because I've discussed this with you before. The greatest thing about love is, well, the companionship, I said, you know, and I think it's just this primal desire of needing a mate, whether you're going to be monogamous or not. It's just this, well, I need somebody there, you know, and I was thinking that, you know, over the last year, I was like, God, it'd be so nice to have somebody in my life again. And I had that opportunity, and now I'm like, boy, I'm glad I'm single and I have me, and, you know, and I found a lot more love for myself, and it's been difficult. But we humans, you know, when we come into the world, we come out of a being. So, you know, I think it's like this primal thing. We are, you two must come together to make one, and then the one comes out of one. And well, on this issue, how did you ever heal a broken heart? Or are you still healing?
How to heal a broken heart? By closing my eyes and allowing love in again. Be against my better judgment.
Like closing your spiritual, like not spiritual eyes, but like...
No, like I let my spirit guide me.
There you go.
Versus my mind. Okay. I let my energy just go where it wanted to go, and I trusted it without proof. And I do that every day still.
It's great that I hear you say that, because I relate. That's, you know, I try to do that too, you know, in a little different way, but it's similar. And another point that needs to be told about my life is my near-life experience when I was 18 and I was almost murdered.
You want to tell me about that?
It's a long story. I'll put it in a nutshell. I was in San Francisco and went to party with some people that I didn't know, and I very foolishly went along with them. And I'm pretty sure they slipped me something. And next thing I know, I was fighting for my life, literally tooth and nail. And I died. They beat me to death. And I went to the bright white light everybody talks about. You know, you hear about this. And I was very scared when I saw it, because I innately knew my existence on Earth was over at the age of 18. And I was freaking out because I knew what was happening. I felt it. It was a very knowing feeling you just can't escape. It just happens when you're on the other side. And I started going towards this light, and it was very blinding, but you could look directly in it, and it didn't hurt your eyes. And right when I was going to go through the light, I was stopped, like I was in the midst of this beautiful, peaceful, bright light. And a voice spoke to me, and it was neither male nor female. It was just a voice, and it said, "It's not your time yet. You're going back. There's something I want you to do." It felt like a longing, you know, for many years of my life. I was just longing for this hope of well, what am I going to be okay? How am I going to do this? And how am I going to make it another day? And then all of a sudden, it just started welling up in me, this natural feeling of, it's okay, you know, you've got to do what you got to do. And then I discovered that drive was my hope, my own personal hope. And like, you know, like I said, everybody in New York, people come here with their dreams and stuff. Well, with those dreams, they have hopes that those dreams will come true.
What inspires you?
Conversation. The fact that tomorrow possibly exists, even though it's never a guarantee. And taking deep breaths while I'm walking.
What do you know at this point in your life to be absolutely true?
There are no guarantees for anything. That's something I will keep saying till the day I die. There's no guarantees for anything, man. I mean, it's just, and the guarantees, there is a guarantee that life can be good if you make it good for yourself, even in dark times. You know, you've just got to keep going. And I know that even though, you know, I don't know, are you familiar with the Desiderata?
Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons, speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass.
We're constantly evolving in the political sense. And with that evolution, there comes, well, okay, that avenue's not working now. We're going to have to try this new avenue. We're forging new grounds now. And in that forging new grounds comes the being burned and hurt and uncertainties. And, you know, so it makes us grow thicker skins. And I think, you know, it's partially the government, you know, with the America and hardening our skins, because they've just been screwing us over and over and over and over and over.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Exactly. Occupy Wall Street was an excellent example of attempting. Mm-hmm. And I watched it, you know, go full force and then steam out, peter out, till where you really don't hear that much about Occupy Wall Street anymore.
I enjoyed the benefits of a healthy economy. When I get out of school, I could make a future for myself. These young people don't have these advantages. We don't. We're here for them.
All these people with these great intentions, they got a little afraid. They got afraid of what could happen if they raised their voice.
Let me tell you this, we're gonna have to risk fucking arresting.
That's right. What do you
think? We're gonna have to risk arrest to run together. I know this man. Let me tell you who this man is. This man stands every day on Broad Market across the street from the bank in my community, and he says, hold your horn for job.
Everybody is, oh, I'm proud to be an American. And then nobody knows really what it is to be American. What it is to be American is the land of the free, man. That means all of us are equal.
That young white woman on the paper last week with her hands behind her back, that mobilized the Caucasian, the white community, which is a good thing, because what's happening now, the middle class is no longer. The middle class are the new niggas in America.
I don't think if they knew how to really, I think they just got this grand idea of like, well, this is BS, man. We're 1%. Let's stand up. And then all of a sudden, all these voices, well, this needs to be fixed and this and this. And then pretty soon it was like, what's your focus?
We got internet, we got apps and shit on our phone that we can connect with people 300,000 miles away to say, listen, we doing a food for us. How much do it cost in your state for this? How much do it cost in your state for that? We pulled our money together and we're going to send you the money, and what's what we need you to get, and we need you to ship it to us. Matter of fact, we need you to draw that shit over here, and we need to divvy it up, and we need to work together. And you can't tell me it won't work unless you try.
Oil down more than $4. Traders here working the phone say a lot of their customers are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go. They're focused on the Dow, not so focused on OPEC. Yes, OPEC did.
The word consumer alone makes me feel like I am a tick on a host. Like that's what they treat us like. Yeah, we're consumers, little pests, because we're consuming, and they have to take care of the masses.
You've expressed sympathy with their position, their feeling of powerlessness.
I understand the frustrations that are being expressed in those protests. In some ways, they're not that different from some of the protests that we saw coming from the Tea Party. You know, both on the left and the right. I think people feel separated from their government.
Hey, the Bible says, the Bible talks about the homosexuals, they're worthy of death. But not only them that do it, but that approve of it.
They think we're free because of these ideas of freedom that we have had implanted in our brains from school, and you know, and then once you get to be an adult, you start realizing, you start becoming sort of Gnostic, I guess, and going out and finding your own knowledge, and you're like, well, they didn't teach me that in school.
Come on, we want to break that cycle. I want to break that cycle. I want to break that cycle when we were inside the shelter. I want to break that cycle.
So what does your American life look like?
Oh, a Family Guy episode? Oh, what's this? My package. God sent it. I signed for it. World keeps on spinning. Everything's better with a bag up hot. Very blue collar. I was raised very blue collar, even though my mom made it very silver spoon up the ass appearance. Everything was very hard won. Everything was so hard won. And we're, you know, my family is a lot of hard workers. You know, the long line of us. Anything we've gotten in our family, we worked for it. So yeah, my American life has been middle class, at times upper, middle upper, and I've had the upper class there for a while. But right now, I am poverty-stricken, and still, as my Mandingo brother friend says, I'm suffering and smiling, KJ. So that's my American life, suffering and smiling.
Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy.
I know this much is true. Everything happens for a reason. Everything, whether you can't find your keys when you're walking out the door, fall in love, somebody dies, it all happens for a reason. And because of that, we are all here for a reason. And that's up to the individual to search that out themselves and discover that. And I know that very much to be true. And I know that love is very powerful. And whether it's in your life or not, or you see it or not in your life, it's always, always there, especially if you like yourself.